While it may not feel like it, Monday is actually the start of a warming trend where we can begin to shed some layers. I'll have the warmer details for you tonight on Nightcast. See you guys then. Blowing and drifting snow here in this park that we're in. We'll take a look at snowfall amounts so far. Going to be right around 6 inches. Now we're going to go take a look at something very impressive. Shows the strength of the tornado as it worked its way in here. This beam blew through the wall into the home, very deep inside of the home. This is why we tell you to get as low to the ground as you can. There was a 65-mile-per-hour gust reported at FWA, hence the warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds on this southern part of the storm as it starts to move across 469. There are drifts that make it very difficult to walk and shovel because it gets up to my shins. I'm 6'3", it's almost up to my knees in some cases. It's also a common sight is trees being weighed down by the snow. You can see how it's accumulated and the buds on these trees and the leaves as they've started to bloom. We are going to be watching for where the heaviest band's set up. Right now, it's favoring northwest Ohio, but a small shift in that track, east or west, could have significant impacts on our snowfall forecast. So what are we watching as we head closer and closer to Christmas? Wednesday is the key day that we're watching for the next system to move through, starting off as rain, and then temperatures will be dropping rapidly behind this front, changing that rain over to snow. And it depends on how cold it gets and how quickly to see if we're going to see any accumulation on Thursday early in the morning. It is a beautiful day here. Yes, I brought out the sunglasses because, one, it's bright here at the 122nd Fighter Wing, but I'm also in front of the Thunderbirds. If it's been loud the last few days, it's because they've been practicing, and they're going to be putting on shows this weekend here at the Fort Wayne Air Show, and they're going to have perfect flying conditions. I have an egg in here that we're going to try and make a fried egg, some nice tasty breakfast food for you for this morning. Let's see what happens. Take a look at that. Almost immediately, the egg whites started to freeze. You can see how it's scattered throughout the pan. This pan has been out here for about an hour or two since this morning, where temperatures were down near 13 below. And you can see that it's all continuing to freeze that egg white, like I said, pretty much immediately. This storm is moving off towards the east-southeast right around 50 miles per hour, getting ready to exit LaGrange County and move in towards Steuben County, moving in towards Kendallville at this time as it continues on its current path, getting in towards Ashley here in the next 6 minutes. And if we look at the track of this, it's going to impact Cancun and then, just like Wilma, move into the Gulf. And we could see some impacts along the Gulf Coast here, especially as we head in towards Friday morning.
Local coverage you can count on continues with meteorologist Adam Solarczyk's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
Lots of clouds today, but no rain. Unfortunately, the rain does work its way back in here, so hopefully you're able to enjoy the short break in the drier conditions we had for today. Take a look at the time lapse on our Lutheran Hospital camera. You can see those dry conditions with the overcast skies. Not many rays of sunshine, but there were a few, but they were few and far between. 60 degrees right now in Fort Wayne, also in Defiance, 59 in Auburn, 57 in Columbia City and in Huntington, a little bit cooler further north, 55 in Angola, also in LaGrange. While we're dry, get out and enjoy it. Park forecast for the rest of this evening has 57 degrees at 7 and 8 o'clock, 56 degrees at 9. Take a look at satellite and radar. You see the overcast skies. There has been some thinning of clouds off towards the north at times, and you see some pockets of thinner clouds near Kendallville and Auburn and Noble and DeKalb counties, and overall the overcast skies do continue into the overnight hours. As you see throughout the Midwest, not much breakage in that clouds cover until you get further off towards the north, but off towards the south and west, that's our next weather system that's going to be moving in here. You see all that moisture through parts of Kansas into Missouri. That's going to be tracking into our area by Thursday afternoon. Second half of the afternoon is what we're targeting to start to see some of that widespread precipitation. Here's a look at Futurecast, how it plays out for tonight, dropping down to 47 degrees. You see some of those breaks in the clouds, especially the further north and east that you are through northwest Ohio, but winds remain fairly calm, only about 5 miles per hour from the east. Throughout the morning hours on Thursday, that's going to be the time to run any errands. If you want to make sure that you're dry for those errands, you're going to see the dry conditions until about 1, 2 o'clock. We start to see some spotty showers work their way in, especially off towards the southwest. That's where we're going to start to see the precipitation arrive from. By 4, 5 o'clock, starts to become a little bit more widespread across the area. Temperatures again tomorrow going to be in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Very similar conditions to today. day. Just not going to see the dry conditions that we've seen throughout this afternoon. And by 8 o'clock, you start to see really widespread pockets of rain. There will be some breaks Thursday night into Friday morning, but look at how heavy some of this rain is near the rush hour time early Friday, 6, 7 o'clock. Could see some rumbles of thunder associated with this round, and as this system gets closer, the winds are going to start to pick up too, right around 10 to 15. Gusting up near 25 miles per hour, and those rounds and periods of moderate to heavy rain continue into Friday afternoon and into the overnight hours as well. In terms of how much more rain we can expect, we're going to see right around 3/4 of an inch to 1.25 inches for most of us, but there's isolated locations that could be closer to 1.5 inches and even 2 inches if you get several of those heavier pockets to move over your location. And that's on top of the already about 1 inch that many locations saw yesterday afternoon. Exclusive 10-day forecast has 60 degrees on Saturday, 69 for your Mother's Day, and there's that warm up still in the forecast for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week into the mid to upper 80s and staying in the 80s through the end of next week.